And now we're learning of a promise House Speaker McCarthy reportedly made to Donald Trump after, you remember, McCarthy suggested in an interview last month that Trump may not be the best 2024 presidential candidate. Trump, infuriated by McCarthy's comments, insisted McCarthy had to make up for it. This is according to Politico this morning. McCarthy promised the former president the House would vote to expunge the 2 impeachments against Trump, and it would do so before the August recess. But that promise puts McCarthy in a bind because several moderate House Republicans are hesitant, of course, to revisit Trump's impeachments, especially the charges stemming from the January 6th insurrection. The Speaker has denied he made this promise to Trump, indicating he would discuss the matter with members of his caucus. So, Jonathan Martin, this is from not your reporting specifically, but from Politico, from your outlet.
Yeah.
This falls in line with everything we've known about Speaker McCarthy over the last several years, particularly since January 6th, and his relationship with Donald Trump was, if he or anyone else in the party backhandedly, mistakenly, whatever it is, makes some oblique criticism of Donald Trump, they've got to scramble to make up for it.
Yes, 7 years and counting of a party that is handcuffed to the whims of Donald J. Trump, and it never changes. And this is the kind of story that comes out when that is your plot in life politically, Willie. And Kevin McCarthy basically blurted out during a television interview that he didn't think Trump was the best candidate in 2024 in the general election. He didn't say it exactly, but in so many words, that Trump's infuriated. And so McCarthy, trying to buy himself some time, as he's wont to do, makes a promise that he will help Trump expunge the 2 impeachments against the former president on the House floor this year. Now, first of all, that's constitutionally questionable, Willie, how you can expunge previous impeachments from previous Congresses. But again, McCarthy's trying to buy himself some time. Of course, the challenge you have is a 5-seat majority that the GOP has in the House, and you've got plenty of Republicans in that majority who do not want to take a vote on expunging Donald Trump from his previous impeachments, especially as he's about to face a federal indictment for his role, it looks like, inciting the riot of January 6th, of course, because one of those 2 impeachments is directly tied to his conduct leading up to January 6th. So, well, the bottom line, it's a mess of McCarthy's own making here, and it's just one more illustration of a party that just can't quit Donald Trump, but that is tied to him. Why? Because their voters don't want to move on. And that's the bottom line here, guys, is this is a voter issue. The leaders are deferring to their voters, and the voters still like Trump. Therefore, the leaders zip their mouth.
Yeah, and of course, any effort to expunge the impeachments from the congressional record, though, even if they were to be technically successful, they still happen. They're not leaving the history books, Reverend Sharpton.
Right.
But I think the Kevin McCarthy party, he's just sort of a microcosm, to Jonathan Martin's point there, about the Republican Party's relationship with Donald Trump. He denounced what happened on January 6th and the hours that followed. It wasn't just that he went to Mar-a-Lago a few weeks later. When he went there, he apologized to Donald Trump. He apologized to Donald Trump for speaking sharply to him during the riot. And any effort, people have said to me in the party, any effort the Republican Party could have made to move on from Trump ended in that moment where McCarthy, who wanted to be House Speaker, was still lashing himself to Trump. And it's not going to change anytime soon. That's what the voters want. And we're going to see more displays of political cowardice and bending the knee to Donald Trump.
I think you're going to continue to see that because that voting base is what they're responding to. I agree with that. So I think that the Democrats and the Republicans challenging Trump need to deal with the more expansive voting bloc of independent voters and others to really bring this issue home. The thing that, I'm a preacher. You illustrate texts. When you're going to preach, you take a text, you illustrate it. They need to illustrate to this country that if you elect Donald Trump, you're electing a man that will be going on trial at least in 2 occasions, even if he was successful in holding the trials after the election. We know he's got 2 trials, maybe 4. Do you really want a president that in the middle of an international crisis can't respond because he's on trial. He's sitting at the defendant's desk. Do you really? I mean, they need to paint that picture. This guy is going to be sitting in court at least twice, maybe 4 times. Even if they make some arrangement to do it virtually from the White House, he's got to be there. Do you really want to show the world the sitting president of the United States can't respond to a crisis in Ukraine or Taiwan because he's on trial? We have to get him after the trial is over. They're not driving that point home. What would we look like as a country?
Yeah.